What's up, everybody? This is Tim Sykes, and we have another AnswerStock. This day, we are just joined by my little puppy, Miley. Yeah, I'm so excited. And we have Matt, who actually did his hair up because he was sick of my jokes last week.
What's up, guys?
And we have a special treat from our video producer, Ben, who has a very important lesson for you guys right now.
Hey, what's up, guys? Don't play with smoke grenades. Yeah, that's what happens.
Thank you, Ben, for that life lesson. And that is important. All of you guys should learn from Ben, and you should learn from people like football players like JPP, who has hardly any of a hand and the Giants stink. And he was playing with fireworks on July 4th. So don't play with smoke grenades. Don't play with fireworks. Learn from Ben and JPP. And learn from Miley, too. She doesn't like it. Screw you, Ben. You're an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. We need your hands for video production. Turning to more important matters. Matt, how are you doing this week?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Still don't have internet at my house, but I decided to use a hotspot. Comcast should be here on Friday. I've been pretty pissed about it. I've had to basically drive to school every day, which is 45 minutes away, to record not only my watch list, but to also be able to answer emails and all of that stuff. Just because most libraries around here close at like 5:30, which is kind of weird. But outside of that, excited to finally have internet. It's a novel thing. And
so the obvious question here, and this is from Miley, not from me, but from Miley. She wants to know, you're now a millionaire. Why do you not put more value on your internet, given that that's how you make your money and that should be where your priority is?
Yeah, well, this is an important lesson. If you decide to build a house, you need to always have your internet provider switch over 3 weeks before, because they have to come out and make sure that the building actually exists, which takes them 10 business days, allegedly. And then they'll set you up. But it's just been a hellish nightmare. I had no idea. I thought it would be like a day or two, like over the weekend, but that didn't happen at all. So a life lesson learned.
And I'll actually answer this too, because, I've traded from cruise ships, I've traded from trains, I've traded from cars, I've traded all over the world. Your internet is key. Miley wants to be on again. If you really want to be everywhere, all over the world, then what you have to do is prioritize your internet, because that is your tool. You're going into battle every single day in the stock market. Your internet and your broker are your two tools. So if you come to the battlefield with a knife and everyone else has a machine gun, which is, very similar if you have like dial-up internet speeds versus somebody who has really fast, a T1 line, you're going to be at a disadvantage. And I know many people have small accounts and you think, oh, it doesn't really matter. I'm trading with a few $100s. Respect every dollar, okay? Matt, me, Tim Grittani, Paul Scolardi, Michael Good, all of these millionaires that you see, we started with very little. And no matter how rich you get and no matter what you do in life, you have to respect every dollar, because it can go away so quickly if you're not careful. There's a saying, a fool and his money are quickly parted, right? So any amount of money that you have to watch it over like a hawk. I'm Jewish. I was taught this since I was a little kid. Most kids have like the little airplanes that go around them. I had like $20 bills above my crib. And I was like, And that, I'm joking, but that is the kind of mentality.
Well, really?
No, you need to really watch over your money, because if you're not careful, I know some people, they're like, oh, I'll just do a trade and, I'll turn my phone off for a few hours. I have a meeting or a family event or something. I don't want to be distracted by the market. But they put their hard-earned money in the market and, they're surprised when they might lose it or their odds of success are lower. When you don't have ideal internet, Matt, do you have a lot of positions or do you have no positions?
No. I usually have one or two positions on. I also have long-term positions as well.
Matt, you're not helping me teach here.
What? I'm sorry. The thing is that you could do it kind of from your phone if you know what you're doing. Like, I always encourage people who start off, don't trade from your phone at all, because there's no way in hell that you can be successful in doing that. But for me, I've been doing this for almost 2.5 years, and I generally either have one or two.
Oh wait, you've been doing this for 2.5 years. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been at this for many decades. So
No, not a decade. Okay, but I feel comfortable enough in my skill base, and I do enough homework to where I can trade from my phone. That's the difference.
Fair point. Fair point. Matt makes a good point where, you know, if you're prepared, if you understand the risks, I think that's the biggest thing. Don't go into the market without understanding the risks. Don't go into a trade without understanding the risks. But if you have a plan, and maybe your plan is long-term, you know, obviously I don't have that kind of patience, but some people do. Some people have, you know, hair issues, but they have a lot of patience. Whatever the case may be. As long as you understand the risk and you go in with a plan and you stick to that plan. A lot of people go into trades and their plan changes based on the trade. They're like, oh, I was going to, you know, cut my losses at like $200, but now that I'm down 1,000, I might as well give it more time. I don't want to take this loss. And then it becomes 2,000 or 3,000. And then they double up and they're like, well, let me average down. And then you have a $10,000 or a $20,000 loss. And that's how big losses are created. So what do you think?
Exactly. It works as a double-edged. It's a double-edged sword. Like, you know, trading from your phone can be an asset because you can do it everywhere. But if you have no idea what you're doing, it can hurt you immensely. So
I think Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man said it best. Do you know the quote I'm about to use, Matt?
Oh my God. Is it with great power comes great responsibility?
That is the correct quote. With great mobile phone power comes great trading responsibility.
Keep in mind that the apps were designed for you to continue to gamble. It wasn't meant for your benefit. It was meant to keep you tapped in. So you can use it as a tool or it can consume you. Those are the only two things.
Exactly. This is another superhero lesson where you have all of this power, but you have to control it, you know, otherwise it will destroy you. Trading, stock trading, any kind of financial investments, you know, it is speculative and it can be risky. So you have to really understand the risks before you do it. Too many people understand the risks after and they're like, oh, I just lost a few hundred or a few $1,000s that I couldn't afford. Now I know better. Know better before you do it, you know? So listen to Matt's warnings about mobile phones. I've never made a trade off my mobile phones. Okay?
Really? That's surprising to me.
I can't do it. Hold on one second.
Call in.
My Skype is blowing up. Everything's blowing up because I was on TMZ.
Oh yeah. So Tim, what is that all about? Seriously, I don't get, like, I didn't look into it, so because I never do, because I think it's insane. But what is going on?
I saw you commented. Don't pretend like you didn't look.
Yeah, because everyone was hating on it, and it's like, well, if you don't like this, then don't like it and look at it because you're perpetuating the whole cycle.
You can't hate on human nature. You can't hate on gossip. This is why success is, you know, like TMZ, where there's so many people who are interested. And long story short, what happened was I posted a picture of cash. I often do. And one of my favorite rappers, The Game, actually used my picture like months later. And people started commenting. And I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on? And that TMZ called and it became like this big thing. I deleted the photo. I don't want any beef with The Game. You know, I'm a big fan of his. I'm a stock trader. I'm focused on teaching. That's what I do. But you know, a lot of people want to gossip about stuff. And when it comes to celebrities and when it comes to money, anything attached to it really can blow up on the internet. So I'm trying to squash all of this, but it just keeps getting bigger. So, you know,
well,
it is what it is.
It happened with your dad, right? Just on a bigger scale, where people are using your picture of your dad with your money.
Yeah. Other people were claiming, you know, it wasn't my dad. They're like, I saw this. This isn't your dad. I'm like, this is my dad. Like, what do you want? But that's social media. And, you know, again, with great power comes great responsibility. With the possibility of any photo or any video going viral, there's a lot of misinformation and miscommunication and assumptions and misunderstandings with social media. So it's beautiful to have all of this, but stories can be taken way out of context. I don't feel, you know, I wasn't angry at The Game. I don't care. It was just an honor for me, really. So I want to clear that up and, you know, diffuse the beef before it begins. I'm not like a rapper, you know, I'm a teacher. So that was that. But
so basically, he just used a picture of your cash, but didn't it say on the TMZ article that he admitted that, yeah, it wasn't my picture? It was just a picture.
So what he did, and I'm still learning, the rules of social media. If you put the word mood in front of a picture, then people know that it's not your photo. Like, because you're just like, this is my mood today, even though this is not necessarily my cash. I don't know the specifics. Some people know the rules. There's no real formal rules.
I did not know that.
I sometimes highlight other people's photos, but I credit them, and I just wasn't credited. So a lot of my students, a lot of my followers, started making a big thing out of it. Again, I deleted it just because I didn't want any beef, but it's spread all over the world. So the past 48 hours for me have been insane, and I just want to get back to teaching. So that's what that is. But
yeah, I just was confused by all that. I was like,
there you go. Final question for today. This is in Maine. And he says, Matt, you've had a lot of success at such a young age. What do you recommend for other young students to really focus on? Good question.
All right. Well, what I recommend is to, I would say, study a lot. Trading for me is a passion. So when I studied, I would study almost every single day. I would read all the time. Back in the day when I was first starting out, I watched most of Tim's actually YouTube stuff just because I thought that was quite helpful in terms of process. You need to find a mentor. That's another thing, or someone at least that you respect in the game that is willing to help you out, whether you know them personally or you pay them. Just one of those two things. And the other thing too is that understand, like, you should, no matter how much money you have, like, you should start with a small account regardless. So if you had $100,000, start with like 25,000, cut it by 4, and make as many trading mistakes as possible when you first start, because that way you learn the lessons on a smaller scale than blowing yourself up. I made the mistake, honestly, of when I started with a huge account. I mean, I lost 30% in 2 months. That's like someone's salary, basically. And that was way too big. So I would just say when you first start out, you got to constantly study, research, find a mentor, and either paper trade, or if whatever your net worth is, trade with a small account. And do the same thing over and over and over again until you become comfortable with what you're doing, and then you can progress to something else. A lot of times people come into this game thinking that it's going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. I learn stuff on a daily, and so the best advice I can say is you need to have a passion for the game, you need to have a mentor, and you need to have a strategy that fits your personality.
I think that was an excellent answer. I tell this to people all the time. If you start with a few $1,000s, most people are like, oh, it's going to take so long to build up. It's actually better to start with a small account, because then there's really no pressure. You don't have much. So another great actor, Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic. Can you guess the quote here, Matt?
No, I'm just going to let you say it because it's funnier when you have all of these analogies.
When you got nothing to lose. And it was wrong because, they were broke, and, these fictional characters thought that it was their lucky day to board the Titanic, and they both end up dying. But the point is that, when you have a small account, there's no pressure. There's no downside, really. If you have $500 to your name and you lose it, so what? You're still broke. So focus on trying to grow the account gradually. Focus on trying to learn lessons and, get in the right mindset about, okay, I need to study. Tim Grittani studied my videos for 6 months roughly before he started making consistent profits. So don't expect profits right away. Don't even aim for big profits right away. Focus on learning the game, study, definitely find a mentor. It's going to cut through so much work. I always say, oh, study hard, work hard. Okay. I mean, you can spend a lifetime learning about the stock market, but if you study from the wrong sources, it's going to be useless. So, a lot of people say, Tim, why do you talk about money and millionaires so much? Because they've had success. It's no different than if you want to learn baseball, you go to a Major League Baseball player. You don't go to somebody who's like a Pee Wee League All-Star, or a T-ball league, All-Star. Like, you don't learn from like a 7-year-old how to become an amazing baseball player. You learn from, Ken Griffey Jr. or some like retired Major League great. So anybody who has made $1 million in the stock market after starting with a small amount is very good, at the least. And they have a ton of lessons, and that's why I focus on money. And now Matt, is a millionaire, and all he has to do is work on his hair, and, I think he'll be a really perfect mentor for you too. So this has been another AnswerStock. Send emails to admin@timothysykes.com. If you have any questions for the next AnswerStock, I'm sorry I didn't post the other AnswerStock. It's been a crazy week, but we're going to keep doing this, and we'll get them all out there for you. Thanks again, Matt, and thanks to Ben for injuring his hand and giving us a valuable lesson about smoke grenades.
Thanks, Ben. Really.